My name is Markus Kahelin. I've been working with Genelec now for a little over 12 years, and I'm working in the tech support department. Together with my team, we work with our customers all around the world and helping them out in specifying, setting up and calibrating their studio monitoring systems. And also I travel around the world and we do different kinds of trainings and seminars, so you might have seen me somewhere. Currently, we're not traveling anywhere, so virtually to you all around the world. Today, we are talking about the GLM4 software, and I want to highlight some of the new features, what we have built in to the system in comparison to the previous versions. First thing you'll notice when you go to genelec.com/glm and download your installer is that there are two packages for each operating system environment. So GLM4 is compatible with all the Mac operating systems and Windows 10. And when you download the installer, you get the GLM installation, which is all you need for the normal operation. This version of GLM includes the cloud-based AutoCal algorithm, meaning that when you calibrate the system, the actual calculations that are done to calibrate each monitor and subwoofer into your room environment is done over the internet connection in our Genelec cloud server. For this, you need to have the internet connection available during the calibration. If you need to calibrate your system in a room or building where you don't have any internet access available, then you can beforehand go and download the local AutoCal installation and install that on top of the existing GLM4 installation. And then you have the ability to run the AutoCal algorithm also without the internet connection. Some of the new features of the software are very evident when you launch it, and the first thing you notice is the new user interface and the graphics. Our industrial designer Harri Koskinen has helped us to build this new environment, making it more user-friendly, easier to use, and also a lot more flexible and scalable for different applications. Since the monitoring systems can vary, you may have just a pair of monitors, a stereo system, or you have a multi-channel system around you, or immersive system like we have here in the demo room, and then you need scalability on the system and also on your computer screen so you can easily manage and control that system. So let's have a look at some of these features. First, you notice the grid for your loudspeaker layout. It has this hexagon shape or honeycomb arrangement where you can arrange all your monitors and subwoofers completely freely into this space, and you can either make rows or columns if you want, or then you can make a circular arrangement around the listening position, which is in real life the case with immersive audio systems. This main window of GLM is also fully scalable, so you can grab it by the corner and drag it larger if you need, or you can start squeezing it down, making it smaller and smaller and smaller. And once you reach this point, the grid itself actually disappears from the view, and now you have yourself a very compact and easy to use monitor controller. You can see your volume fader, your monitor controller buttons with the mute and dim and the recallable level presets, along with the bypass buttons for the bass management and calibration. And then you can find your group presets, which you can use to store your own presets which you want to recall. Those can be anything you like, including with or without the subwoofer, different combinations of your monitors like stereo versus multi-channel, or then just a different tuning depending on what kind of work you are doing, or if you have a friend or colleague who works in the same room, you can use the group presets to recall different tuning for that individual professional who's working in your room. Also, what we have implemented is the ability to change the theme of your GLM screen. Now we can see the dark theme, which is the default when you launch the software. But if you want, you can change that into a light theme, which then changes the amount of light you are receiving from your screen. And this way you can blend your GLM screen more easily into your working environment, or you can make it stand out if you want in a dark or light room and have easier access to all your controls. Also, we have implemented language versions, and this is a big thing in the new GLM. Now we have 7 different language versions available, which you can easily recall from the menu and then change the entire user interface into all of these languages, and probably in the future we can also implement more if there's need for it. Another cool feature of the layout, and talking about the immersive audio systems, they occupy a lot of monitors, and also you need a lot of space on your screen to manage and control that kind of system. So then you can scale your layout grid just by selecting the presets in the layout edit. If you need, you have anything from stereo up to the largest immersive audio systems, including also the pre-named positions for each monitor and subwoofer, so you can easily maintain the channel configuration of that format. Or then you can just make it large or even huge like this. And then you have room for anything you can imagine. Over 80 monitors and subwoofers can exist in the same system at the same time through this layout. So GLM is not only a tool to set up and calibrate your system. That is what you need to do in the first place to make the system run and operate. But you can use it in your everyday work as your monitor controller, control your volume and listening level. You can recall all these presets that you have made. And then you can also store all your settings and files either into the Genelec Cloud, where we have a completely free and available for every user perfectly safe storage for all your setup files, so you don't need to worry that they are staying in your computer. They are available anywhere you go. Or then you can store them locally and store as many files as you like. And this way, a studio where you have a lot of people working in, you may have somebody coming in for a week, or then you go somewhere else and somebody else is using your studio. All of the users can have their own personal sonic reference stored into the setup file, and this way they can fine-tune and calibrate the system exactly as you like it. There's much more in the GLM4 platform which you can find after you start using it. We have very good tutorials. There's a quick setup guide and a very extensive operating manual available, which you can refer to if you want to find out more about the specific functions and what does this button do and what's that in that menu. All that is explained in the documentation, so remember to check those out to find the full power of the GLM4 platform. As the name says, GLM is Genelec Loudspeaker Manager. And that means that through the GLM user interface and the software, you are actually managing and controlling the signal processing that is built into each monitor and subwoofer. And this means that the software itself doesn't process any audio. All the signal processing is happening inside the monitors with the electronics that Darren and his team have designed in there, and with the software and firmware that we have specifically engineered for those monitors and subwoofers. And this way your signal chain is clean all the way up to the monitor, and then the optimization for the room acoustics is done at the latest stage of the monitoring chain. We have also implemented a support functionality inside embedded into GLM. If you need to ask something, or you have some problem with your setup, something doesn't work, or you're not sure is this the correct way to set it up, there is a support functionality in GLM. You go to the help menu and you can submit your support request directly to us, so me and my team will receive it. You can also include your GLM setup file into the request, and also a photograph of your listening environment, which often is very helpful for us to determine that what might be happening. Is it something to do with room acoustics, or is there something we can probably propose that you can change with the positioning or so on. Also, we have available online a very nice series of tutorials. We've done this 6 steps to creating your sonic reference series, in which I am featured together with my colleagues, and you can find it online and also go through all of those steps and get a really extensive training on GLM4, starting from the basics, advancing into more advanced features, and this way you can get a very full and complete walkthrough whenever you like. It's available online.